This is a Modern Man podcast. My name is JD Farrell, and thank you for tuning into the inaugural episode of a Modern Man podcast. Today I'm speaking with one of my good friends, Jordyn Irvin. She talks about what it's like teaching during the global pandemic, whether it's buying supplies for her students, quarantining with her books, or getting kids to focus and the behavior issues of the crazy schedules.
Hold on.
Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
What up, dude?
It's been a minute.
I know.
So, how's your week been?
It's been good.
Are you on break yet or no?
No, tomorrow's our last day before break.
Okay. Are you pretty excited?
Oh, yeah. So pumped. So over this stuff.
You got one more semester to get it done. One more rough semester. We'll see how
I know.
next semester goes.
We'll see. They just changed a lot of stuff, so we're probably gonna be back in the classroom.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what grade do you teach and where at?
Second grade at Garfield Elementary.
And how long?
In Enid.
In Enid?
Yeah.
How long have you taught there?
This is my third year.
Worst year so far? Would you say it's the worst year so far?
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how prepared do you think they were for all this?
2.
2. What's been the hardest part about it all?
The hardest part is all the rules that come with it. So, like, for, like, books, we have to, like, quarantine our books.
Okay.
Like, in our own, like, library in our classroom.
Okay.
We have to quarantine the books for 3 days.
You can't just wipe the books down and
No.
you have to quarantine the books. Okay.
Yeah. And then, like, you can't have any, like, most of the stuff in my classroom, I have them share. And so, like, I had to go buy a lot of stuff just for each individual person.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of terrible.
I'm sorry.
And then, like, not knowing each week if you're gonna be in school or not. Yeah.
What was it? Was it literally day to day? You didn't know the next day, or how did they work it like that?
It was by week. So every Friday they'd check the numbers. Okay. And then, like, if they were in the red, so 50, if they're at 50%, then we weren't going to school the next 2 weeks.
What was the 50%?
It's like based off of every 100,000 in your county cases. And so, like, if it was 50 or over, which would be red, we were out for the next 2 weeks.
So do you think, was it really 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 2 weeks on? Was it pretty much like that?
It's been steady off.
Oh.
So, like, the week before Thanksgiving break is the first week we went virtual for this year. And we haven't been back yet. But each class, like, so if there was one person that got it in that class, the whole class had a quarantine for 2 weeks. Yeah. So that was weird. My class luckily didn't have to, so we're good.
And you never got COVID at all during this time, or did you?
No, I did not.
Oh, nice. All right.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah. So I would say, you think you were set up for success or set up for failure by the administration for all this?
It depends on how stressed out you got about it. If you got really stressed out, you were definitely in for failure. But if you took all of their rules and like very seriously, then you were pretty much set up for failure. But if you were just like laid back and chill and been like, this sounds bad, but like if you're just like chill about all the rules, you're fine.
Like follow the rules, but use a little common sense throughout.
Yes.
At the same time.
Yes, exactly. Like, and just don't like freak out over every little thing. Like, if one book doesn't get quarantined, then it's fine, you know?
Yeah.
But if you're like freaking out about every little thing that didn't go the way the rules are laid out, then you're going to be failing because you're stressing out more than you should have been. If that makes sense.
Yes. I mean, obviously, it seems like you learned how to handle it and manage your stress.
Yes.
How do you think a lot of your colleagues did? How do you think overall?
They didn't do very well.
Yeah.
No. A lot of people adapted and like just took them in and went on with their lives, but the other ones, nah, not at all. Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Okay, so I guess who do you think is to blame, or what would you have done differently then through all this?
I don't think we could have done anything differently because it's such a new thing for everybody
Mhm.
that they're just kind of just trying the best they can. And so, I mean, you can't really do anything different because you weren't prepared for all of this to happen like this. So, I don't think you could have done anything differently. I think a lot of people could have like chilled out a little bit and like taken it day by day, but a lot of people like freaked out at the very beginning.
Mhm.
That's the only thing I think they could have like fixed on, but that's about it.
Okay, what was the biggest difference between this semester and March when it all shut down from back when?
I like this semester better because I could say bye to my kids. Last semester, I never got to see them again. And so, like, the week before spring break, because it was spring breaks when all this happened. And so, the day before, like, the last day before spring break, uh, is always stressful anyway. Your kids are being crazy and they're ridiculous, like throwing stuff that day. It was a full moon week too. It was bad. And so like a lot of us were kind of over it right then and stressed out and ready for spring break. So a lot of us had a lot of regrets on like how we acted that last day because we didn't get to see them after that and like get to say bye and stuff. So that one was a lot harder than this one. This one I know I'm gonna see my kids later, but the last one I just didn't really get closure. None of us got closure. So, but this time we're adding a new teacher to second grade because a lot of people are switching from virtual to back to school. And so we had to add another second grade teacher. So I had to lose 4 of my kids whenever we get back.
And
So
what's
that's pretty hard.
class size that you have?
I have 22. Yeah. So I lost 4 and I'm really sad.
Do you think you've seen an adjustment at all, or a difference in the kids coming into second grade this year than the kids last year? Was there anything noticeable about them?
They are very low, is the one thing I noticed. They were very low and they were a lot harder to like adjust their behaviors because they were so used to being with their parents for so long. So like their behaviors was really hard to get under control just because of that. And then they're just really low. Like I have one kid that's at a kindergarten level because they missed like all that necessary stuff that they need at the end of first grade. So they just went back, and none of them did anything over virtual. It is what it is. Our kids are going to be a little bit low.
Yeah.
As long as they're getting up there, I don't care. I mean, I care, but
We'll get on there. We'll get on there. I care, but
yeah, we'll get them there.
we'll get on there.
Gonna take a lot of time and patience.
See, I think a lot of parents, they definitely took y'all for granted until they realize how hard it is for them to
Oh
focus.
yeah, definitely. They realize that like teachers aren't just babysitters. We actually like teach them stuff, and they'll learn to read, and we're not a babysitter. And yeah, I
How,
don't. What?
you got a lot of those emails or phone calls and stuff like that from parents?
Oh yeah, especially that like during March, I got a lot. But this semester, they're a lot more prepared because we got to like actually prepare them in the classroom on what they're gonna do whenever we do go virtual. So that was a lot better than. But yeah, a lot of them are freaking out. I had one parent to this week. She was like, "My kid missed everything from last week." I was like, "Don't stress out about it. It's okay. This is all new. It all sucks. Don't stress out about it." She's like, "Good," because I was really stressing. I was like, "Don't. You're fine. We'll get them there."
Okay. And I know a lot of kids haven't really been doing virtual to where that hasn't really been sticking. And of course, a lot of schools were run on funding. So if y'all went virtual, that might hurt funding. But do you think anything about the virtual aspect that y'all are going to take forward in the future of schools?
I don't know, because it depends on like the principal and stuff. Some principals are really into the virtual thing, and then the other principals are all about not worrying about virtual. Like, no, they don't like iPads. They like, so I don't know. It just kind of depends on what school you're at and how your administration takes it.
I get the schools, but what do you think? Do you think it would be beneficial, or do you think it would hurt the kids long term, including that aspect of virtual
I
learning?
think, to me, I think it would hurt them because they don't need to be like staring at a computer screen all the time.
Yeah.
And like, uh, I think they really need to be like hands on because I don't learn through like a worksheet. And I feel like that's all like virtual is like a worksheet. And, but there won't, like, I think you learn more through activities and like doing it yourself. So I don't like it. And I don't think we should stick with virtual. I think we should go back to how we were if we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that was your question.
Yeah, that definitely was my question. That you answered it perfectly, because obviously me not being in the industry, it seems like maybe the smaller class sizes, but I know the smaller class sizes obviously hurts the amount of funding, and if they already try to cut school funding as much as possible, so if they look at ways to, you know,
Yeah. Well, small classes is just unrealistic
even if
because
they,
we're already what?
what if they pursued like the kind of AB thing long term, and but kind of did half the work was virtual, half of it was in person learning, and
Well, okay, with that, like with AB schedule, I don't like it because whenever you go on like long breaks with your kids, you have to like focus the next week whenever you get back just on behavior and like getting back into, and like I have an autistic kid right now in my classroom. He would not be beneficial for that at all. And
okay.
like a lot of our kids, my school is 99% poverty. And so like a lot of these kids really need to be in the classroom because that's where they get all their meals. That's where they feel safe at. And a lot of kids get like abused at home. And so I don't think it's beneficial just because they need this routine and they need the schedule and the safe spot and have food.
Oh no,
So
you convinced me. I was just being devil's advocate, trying to.
no, you're good. You're good.
You forget how important you are disciplinaries in keeping kids under control and behavior, because
Yeah, we're with them a lot of their lives. So, and like a lot of kids don't have discipline at home, or if they do have discipline, it's like the wrong kind of discipline. So, I think school's an amazing thing, and we should stop taking it for granted and not do AB because it's not beneficial to us, I don't believe.
all right. And obviously, you kind of explained more in that last statement, but do you want to continue teaching after going through this whole pandemic as a teacher?
Yeah, a lot of us teachers, we don't really get good pay, so like we're really in it for like the kids. And so, heck yeah, I would always stay with that because it's whenever I go teach, it's not like I'm working. It's like I'm just living day by day because it's my life. It's not a job.
And anything you want to give out, shout out to all the teachers out there that has made it through working with you side by side, or maybe thousands of miles away.
Hey, we got this. You are amazing and you are great and you are doing a wonderful job.
All right.
That's what I.
Thank you so much, Jordyn, for joining us. Okay.
Yes, I love it. Thank you for having me. Missed you, buddy.
Hey, thank you for coming. That was dope.
You're welcome.